Behold the future of American muscle. The Pontiac GTO Judge EV concept combines.
They told us it was over. They told us the Arrowhead was buried for good back in 2010, a casualty of bankruptcy and changing times. We mourned the loss of affordable performance, of swagger, of pure, unapologetic American muscle. But take a look at your screen right now, because what you are seeing shouldn't exist. It's impossible. It's blasphemy to some and salvation to others. It's bright red, it's incredibly angry, and it is wearing one of the most hallowed names in automotive history. The Pontiac GTO Judge is back from the dead. But the soul of this machine? That's where the controversy begins, because the V8 rumble is gone, replaced by the silent, violent thrust of electrons. Welcome back to New Car. Today, we are looking at the most divisive, shocking concept of the decade, the 2027 Pontiac GTO Judge EV. Let's just sit with this image for a second. That banner hanging above it isn't subtle. Pontiac is back. This isn't some fan render generated in a basement. This is sitting on a polished floor inside what looks very much like a GM facility. The sheer audacity of General Motors, even considering resurrecting this brand, is mind-blowing. For years, they've told us Pontiac is done, focusing on Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, and Cadillac. So, why this? Why now? I think GM realizes they left a massive amount of passion on the table. They see what Dodge did with the Charger Daytona EV, bridging the gap between muscle heritage and an electric future, and they decided it was time to wake the giant. And my God, did they wake it up on the wrong side of the bed? This design is absolutely ferocious. It is a masterclass in modern retrofuturism. If you look at the front end, they haven't just slapped a Pontiac badge on a Camaro. This is distinct. It has that classic split grille beak, but it's interpreted for the modern era. It's thinner, wider, and integrates these ultra-aggressive, slim LED headlights that look like narrowed eyes staring you down. The lower fascia is incredibly complex, with massive air intakes pushing out to the corners, emphasizing the width. It looks planted, low, and ready to pounce. But we have to address the elephant in the room, or rather, the glowing orange elephant on the hood. That hood scoop on a combustion car, that's for ram air induction, feeding a hungry big block. On an EV, it's functionally unnecessary for an engine, yet I absolutely love that they kept it. It features this incredible amber illumination that pulses almost like it's breathing fire. It's a nod to the past, a functional element perhaps for cooling the battery pack or front motors, but mostly it's theater. And Pontiac was always about theater. Moving around to the side profile, the stance is impeccable. The overhangs are short, the wheelbase is long, and the roofline has that classic fastback swoosh that defines the muscle coupe silhouette. It looks muscular, tense, like a coiled spring. You'll notice the massive dark alloy wheels, probably 21s or 22s in the rear, filling those flared arches perfectly. And peeking from behind them, bright orange brake calipers that match the hood lighting and the badging. And speaking of badging, there it is on the front fender, just behind the wheel well. Quote 1. That script carries so much weight. In 1969, the Judge was a stripped-down, hopped-up attitude problem on wheels. If they are using that name here, this EV better have the performance to back it up. As we get to the rear three-quarter view, you really see the width of the rear hips. This thing is wide, body thick. The way the greenhouse tucks in and the fenders flare out is pure sex appeal. The rear end design is cleaner than the front, but just as impactful. You have a full-width LED taillight bar that emphasizes the car's stance, segmented in a way that hints at classic Pontiac taillights without directly copying them. There's a prominent pedestal spoiler on the deck lid, again, signaling performance. But then, look down at the lower diffuser. Are those? Yes, they are. quad exhaust tips on an EV. Now, before you hit the comments section in a rage, hear me out. We know Dodge is doing the chat quote too to make their EV muscle car generate sound dynamically. GM is clearly thinking the same thing. A silent GTO Judge is unacceptable. It needs visceral feedback. Whether these are speakers designed to look like exhausts or actual acoustic chambers to amplify motor and airflow noise, it tells us that GM understands that the experience of a muscle car isn't just about speed, it's about sound and vibration. It's controversial, sure, but necessary if you want to sell this to a traditional enthusiast. So, what is powering this resurrection? Since this is a concept, we don't have hard numbers, but we can make very educated guesses based on GM's current Ultium technology. To wear the Charger quote 3 badge in 2027, this thing needs to be an absolute monster. We are likely looking at a dual-motor, all-wheel drive setup as standard, probably pushing somewhere in the neighborhood of 600 horsepower. But the top-tier Judge? I wouldn't be surprised if they utilize a tri-motor setup similar to the Hummer EV, potentially pushing past 1,000 horsepower. We're talking 0 to 60 in the sub-2-second range. It has to be that fast to compete with the upcoming electric Mopars and whatever Tesla does next with the Roadster. The battery tech would likely be GM's latest Ultium architecture, probably an 800-volt system allowing for ultra-fast DC charging, because you can't cruise the boulevard on a Saturday night if you're stuck at a charger for an hour. Range would need to be competitive, likely over 350 miles. But honestly, in a car like this, range is secondary to performance. We don't have shots of the interior today, but we can imagine what it must be like. Pontiac's interiors in the late 2000s were, frankly, cheap plastic bins. This 2027 concept would have to be light years ahead. Expect a driver-focused cockpit. Pontiac always touted their quote 4 design. It will likely feature massive curved OLED screens for the gauge cluster and infotainment, similar to the Lyric or the new Escalade, but with distinct, sporty Pontiac graphics, maybe a digital recreation of that hood tachometer. We'd expect aggressive sport bucket seats, lots of Alcantara, carbon fiber, and again, hits of that orange accent lighting throughout the cabin. It needs to feel premium, but raw. The real question here isn't about the specs, it's about the soul. Can an electric car really be a Pontiac GTO? For many purists, the answer is an immediate no. The V8 engine was the heart of the beast. Removing it is like ripping out its soul. But we have to be realistic about the future of automotive performance. The V8 is sunsetting. If the spirit of Pontiac, that rebellious, accessible, in-your-face performance, is going to survive, it has to adapt. This GTO Judge concept proves that GM hasn't forgotten how to design a car that makes you feel something just by looking at it. It's aggressive, it's nostalgic without being retro kitsch, and it looks incredibly fast standing still. It represents a passing of the torch. It's GM saying, quote 5. If they build this, and I genuinely hope they do, it won't be for everyone. It will anger the traditionalists, and it might confuse the pure EV crowd. But for that person in the middle, someone who loves muscle car heritage but wants future-proof performance, this could be the ultimate machine. The judge is back, court is in session, and the verdict on this electric future is still out. What do you guys think? Is an electric GTO Judge a dream come true or a nightmare? Let me know down in the comments below. I really want to gauge the temperature on this one. If you enjoyed this deep dive into this shocking concept, smash that like button, subscribe to New Car, and ring the bell so you don't miss the next automotive revolution. Thanks for watching. SEO optimization and clickbait assets. Option 1, shock value and curiosity. Title, They Lied to Us. Pontiac GTO Judge returns as an EV monster. First look. Description, General Motors said Pontiac was dead forever. They lied. The Pontiac GTO Judge is back for 2027, but the V8 is gone. Is this 1,000 plus HP electric muscle car blasphemy or brilliance? We dive deep into the most shocking reveal of the decade. Option 2, Performance Focus. Title, 2027 Pontiac GTO Judge EV, the Dodge Charger, Daytona's worst nightmare. Description: the muscle car wars are reigniting in the electric era. Pontiac has returned with a stunning GTO Judge EV concept designed to crush Dodge and Tesla. We analyze the insane design, the controversial quote 6, and the potential tri-motor powertrain. Option 3, Purist versus Future Angle. Title, the V8 is dead. Is the electric Pontiac GTO Judge worthy of the name? Description: the iconic quote, 7 is back, but it's traded gasoline for electrons. In this in-depth review of the 2027 concept, we ask the hard questions. Can an EV ever have the soul of a Pontiac muscle car? Or is this just marketing sacrilege?